7 minutes until showtime.
Happy birthday, Big O.
6 minutes until showtime. Five minutes until showtime. Four minutes until showtime. 4 minutes until showtime.
Sounds so good, right, DJ? Jeff, stick it. Work it out, Dave. That's a party for you, right, DDP? 7J. Oh. Why was you right there, Joy? Hey, 7J. Made me feel like I got goosebumps on the
3 minutes until showtime. 3 minutes until showtime.
Don't show too much, Dave. Warm it up, Dave. Promise you right there, boys. Leo East right here, Steph. Promise you right there, Miss Tracy. I don't think they ready, Jerry J. I keep on. Right time. I stay in the quiet on the set.
2 minutes until showtime.
Woo, Lord, Jeff. Lord, some right there, El Boogie. Like I said, just wait for the cuties in the pocket. I just come on through, Slim. Know what I'm talking about? Publisher right there, Candace. Miss Tracy. Real smooth. Last time, y'all, I sang the quiet on the set. Sounds so good back here, Dave. Publisher right there, Keith.
1 minute until showtime.
Warm it up. Sting it, Jeff. Like that part right there, Fat Cat. Know what I'm talking about? Say back to the good old day, Ray and Miss Prima. This song right here, I was just a little
Your
baby.
show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm on my grown man stuff right now.
Love Talk
Yo, sound on right there, baby.
Just another groove with me, just a little bit. Come on, fellas. I need you jamming. With my bass line there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live and in full physic,
You was right when you said what you said.
and you already know who I'm is. Yeah, you already know who it is. It's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo-On-That, aka Mr. Slap your great grandmama.
You gotta add the girl.
And I'm here with my illustrious co-host.
Christopher J, aka I'm him, aka I got a bald head, aka you know what I did, my Gucci flip flops.
Yeah. And I'm also here with my featured scholarly co-host.
Talk to him. I can't even spell scholarly.
So early.
So I'm here with my scholarly featured co-host.
Yo, it's your boy, Mr. Grandtastic, a.k.a. The Professor, a.k.a. Smooth Criminal, a.k.a. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. You see that Lamar Jackson on that Michael Jackson? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Raven. Do your thing.
Listen. Today was a very long but productive day. You know how I do and what I like to do and how I like to do it. I like to promote my books and business segment But I just want to say that I'm very, very excited about today's show. And because I'm excited about today's show, there's one book that I'm going to pull forward. And I want all the peasants to go get this book.
Leave us.
Leave us. It is called Magic of Viral Energy. Move. Get out the way.
Get out the way.
Listen, get this book. I'm going to say, it is. First of all, let me say who the author is. Penelope Jean Hayes. She was a guest on the show. We have the books. She promised she was going to send them. She sent them. The ISBN number for those who are actually going to take time to read and educate themselves instead of look for entertainment on the internet all day. The number is 978-1642-79687. Again, the ISBN number is 978-1642-79687. Ladies and gentlemen, please get this book. Also, go support IamZoeWilliams.com. I am Zoe, which is Z-O, Williams.com. Subscribe, like, get all the information and knowledge that you need from the homie Zoe Williams. Also, subscribe, like, comment, and share 5150 Show on Instagram, 5150 Show on YouTube by the big bro comedian Corey Holcomb. He makes a lot of jokes about a lot of things, but there's always truth in jokes. So follow his show and stop using the excuse of how he says things to not understand the truth. Also, I am RZA Islam.com. RZAislam.com. Please follow the little homie as he is still making power moves and doing great things. Also, I hope you guys are following TrueRadio.net.
Yeah.
That's CHOO radio.net. Please go to that website, like, subscribe, follow True Radio on all platforms. It's getting crazy, man. We doing good locally. We got fans in the UK, Pakistan, Ireland. Like we everywhere with it.
Wakanda.
You said Wakanda?
Wakanda.
Shout out to Killmonger, man.
Is this your kid?
Also, support Kimberly Giles. I know. I do it all the time.
I'm not.
It's Giles, but I like to say Giles because that's how I'm. Anyway, so go to her. Kimberly Giles, which is Giles, but I say Giles because that's just something I like to do. Support her, the 12shapes.com. 12shapes.com. Go support her on everything she's doing. Tiff Talk TV on Instagram. Support Tiffany Ram. The big little sis, she's doing her thing. Keep her uplifted in prayers. You know, she got toe injuries and back injuries, and so speedy recovery to you, Tiff Talk.
You got it, sis.
Also, I want to support Unofficial MD. Support Christopher J. He's a barber.
He's a fire barber too. Oh, you talking about me?
Yeah,
My bad.
yeah. Follow him on Instagram if you need your head to get, as the women say with their makeup, beat up. Beat their face, whatever they say. I don't know.
Yeah, I ain't gonna beat your head, but you can catch his fade though.
Yeah, you can catch his fade.
Literally.
Yeah, you can catch his fade.
Yeah, but I don't.
I got hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get you lined up.
This is something new I'm going to do in this segment. Is there anything that you guys want to promote, or any person or brand that you want to promote during this segment? Christopher J. Then Grantastic.
Oh man. Raymond Pack. Shout out to Raymond Pack. Big Dreamers Apparel, clothing and apparel. I'm a full fan of black-owned businesses, especially if I can, dress down in black-owned linens.
Naptown.
Yeah, straight out of Naptown. Also, Black Elegance brand. You can follow all of them on Instagram at Black Elegance brand.
Yeah.
And at Big Dreamers Apparel. Go grab you some sweatsuits. The clothing is fire. Okay, if you want to be stylish and be able to support your brothers, go ahead, handle that.
All right, y'all. I got one Sweet in Things DMV. This is a cupcake dessert making business. They make bomb cupcakes, bomb cakes. My favorite are cake pops. Them joints is bomb. So that's on Instagram. Follow them at sweet.in.thingsdmv. Follow them.
Wait. Hold up. Slow down and say that again.
Sweet. Dot. In. Dot. Things. DMV.
So hungry.
Okay.
On Instagram, y'all. Follow them, support them. Get yourself a nice 4-layer cake.
I'm going to follow them.
Birthdays and stuff is coming up. Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving. They got whatever you need, y'all.
If you are a thought, do not steal that title.
I knew it.
If you are over 300 pounds, please do not go to that Instagram page because you probably already supported that business.
That's what they put. I already knew about that, Joe.
You ain't even know it.
You see
Um,
the Chanel's, the
So-
chocolate covered strawberries.
Dude, they got Gucci ones.
Oh
They
man,
got Gucci and Chanel covered.
they got Gucci and what?
and Chanel chocolate covered strawberries. y'all.
Okay.
Hey, girl, I got you.
Listen, if you have a significant other and you want the romance thing,
Hey,
you know what I mean? I'm
Hey.
just saying.
Hey.
You want to do your thug fizzle. Listen, it's books and business, baby. I want to promote that I am thinking about doing. Yeah, most of the time when I say think about 85 to 90% of the time I say think about, I make it happen. I'm thinking about doing a True Radio sip and paint.
Ooh.
I'm going to
Yeah.
do a True Radio sip and paint. And I want to have I'm going to charge, and the proceeds are going to go to kids who need school supplies for virtual learning. Because
Okay.
just
Solid.
because
I
they
appreciate
have
that.
given Chromebooks, which Chromebooks suck, by the way.
Oh, they do.
And
they really do.
Trashy
Yeah,
browsers.
they suck.
that way.
But I also want to give kids regular laptops because I want to eventually hold a virtual class teaching coding, teaching brand building to kids, because if they start off young, just imagine how powerful they'll be when they become our age. And they are the future, and I want to pour the knowledge that I have into them.
Yep.
So if you really care about our young people, if you really care about the community, if you want to have a good time getting a little tipsy while you paint, True Radio is going to, which means that Grantastic,
Yep.
Christopher J,
Yeah.
Don DeMarco, and Randy Chu are going to be hosting this event. We'll let you know the venue. Obviously, we will have it COVID
Friendly.
physical distancing, because we're definitely gonna be social that night. Also, I do COVID cleaning, so if you need things disinfected, your business, your homes, I have the professional machines. I have the professional COVID virus killer tabs that go into my machines that create the mist.
Lab tech approved.
Yes. So if you want to ensure that your environment is clean, just contact me at True Radio. I'm on Instagram. We on Twitter. We on Facebook. We on iTunes. We on Spotify. I found we on YouTube. I found out earlier we was even on Pandora, and I ain't even set it up.
Oh. Won't he do it?
So listen.
Yes, my father will.
Won't he do it?
Listen.
The producers.
So, with that being said, we're going to take a quick 2.2. But when we come back,
You know what time it is, baby.
Y'all ready for this?
when we come back, we are going to dive into the new segment.
Is it?
Chew
Is it
or
choke?
choke.
Is it you? Is it you?
But
It'll be hot like.
until then, we'll be right back after this quick 2.2.
She'll put on the
There it goes. Come on, Fidel. Y'all ready? Y'all can take it easy on this one. I don't even gotta sing hard on this. All you do is just, Here we go. What would you do when you love somebody? You can't explain the feeling inside. Oh, so you hide. But when you love somebody, it's inside. You can't leave it alone. Oh, oh, baby, please don't I know that it was over now. Please don't Ooh, baby, do it one more time for me. Go ahead, I'ma let the music just free just a minute. It make you do a lot of thinking. You got it. Come on. Come on, tell me, help me out. Come on, Jamie, here we go.
Uh-oh. Huh? Oh, hold on. We gotta let this one ride. Hold on. This is my joint right here. Wait till the beat drop. Y'all gonna feel it. You know what? We gonna come back right after this one little. Yeah. I gotta let this one ride, bro.
That's what we're talking about, baby.
Oh my gosh. I don't think they're appreciating the crank right now.
They don't appreciate the crank right now.
They ain't appreciating the crank. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo-On-That. And the number to dial is 516-531-9828. 516-531-9828. We are going to our segment, Chew or Choke. Mr. Grantastic, take it away.
Talk to him, baby.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
Doing that right?
I'm glad you're doing well.
Yeah.
We got a new segment today for Chew On, Choke On That.
Uh-huh.
Of course, featuring some dumb stuff that happens around the world. Some things that are actually kind of prevalent to our lives. So, let's get into it. I actually been kind of listening to this podcast this week. The Deadass Podcast with Deval and Kadeem. It's a nice little for, marriage kind of stuff. So they got a nice little vibe. Other day,
It's cute.
so Deval said, I had this quote: to normalize the choice to remain single and stop shaming people who choose to focus on their careers. So we're just kind of talking about that. They've been married for 10 years, and there's people around them that may have not wanted to get married, may not be ready, but they kind of talk about there's people who may be single and them feeling the pressure, and like, can we normalize the choice to just remain single? So what do y'all think? Should we normalize the choice to remain single and stop shaming people who want to focus on their careers? What do y'all think? Chew or choke on that?
Are we waiting on me first?
It's just a slow movement.
I'm gonna say choke on that. And this, can I
Go right in. Go ahead.
This, I'm gonna say choke on that as a single man, because as a man, period, I do know that I can only reach, but so much of my potential by myself. I'm going to eventually need someone to help me out, especially if I want to go further. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely need to help me for real. So, yeah, for a brief period, I believe in that.
Okay.
For a brief period, but there does come a time.
Speak, sir. Yes,
There does come a time in which the heart of a single man
Preach, sir. Yes.
is going to need the love of a woman.
Yes.
I'm just trying to figure out how you took
Speak,
the
Lord.
Baptist preacher to Bane, like in the middle of that.
Oh, singleness. I was born in it. You merely adopted it. I was born in it.
Hey, yo.
But I'm looking. I'm saying, take hold of yourself, okay? Leave us.
I would say
This
that
is the last segment, y'all. Chew and choke. After that, I'm done. I quit this ish right here.
You merely adopted.
I just want to say that I think you are weak-minded if you feel like you can't pursue another human being and a career at the same time.
Message.
I think that's due to your lack of focus and discipline. Because as a king of his own empire, I have several businesses and I'm an employee as well.
Yeah. Alpha male status over here. Figure it out.
But I still have time for intimacy. And I'm not just talking.
This soft
I'm not
size
just talking about sexual healing. So you can choke on these.
You know what's kind of thing is that I'm gonna go on the opposite end of that. Y'all.
Okay.
I'll go the opposite end.
How, Sway?
All right, I understand from
Fantastic.
I can't. I understand really you guys' points, and actually I agree with them to an extent.
But you say you're lying.
No, I said to an extent. Here's my extent.
Okay.
Okay.
Thought it was an illusion.
No, not yet. Illusion. No, but I think that especially for people in certain age brackets, that maybe history or some stuff has gone on with their mates that they're looking for that are not available. I also think that at the same time, there's some people that just don't want to be married, and that's okay. But I don't think people should be bothered just because they want to be married, especially if they're doing something. Especially because I know people that are married that ain't doing nothing. So that's the thing too. It's like not necessarily think that, you know, it's all and I don't think marriage is really the pinnacle of someone's life. I think it's a great part about it, but I think that there's so many more things to achieve other than marriage, just to get married. There's a difference between getting married and you've married the person that you love and now you want to spend the rest of your life with. But if it's just married to get married, like I know some people that are doing right now, I'm just like, be single.
If you need the state to validate your relationship with another individual, you are stuck in the matrix. But that's for later on in the show.
No, I actually.
If I hit the lottery, you can shame me all you want to.
Go ahead, Mr. Grant.
I actually, you know what? In that regard, I agree with you. More people are focused on the actual concept. Just in that regard, some people are focused on getting married as a pinnacle. The same way more people are focused on the wedding rather than the marriage.
Yes.
So I in that regard, I agree.
I'm not gonna say nothing else to it because I'm gonna use that for later on in the show.
Oh, you gonna use it? Okay.
Yeah.
And when I hit the lottery, you can shame me all you want to about being single.
Oh my gosh, nah, we cool. But I do like that validation term, Mr. Chew over there that you brought up, because you know as
state.
Because, you know, as black folks, sometimes we feel as if we got to validate ourselves. Sometimes to the world, sometimes to our community.
Or seek it.
So we're going to talk about somebody that is on the verge of being pushed out of the black community because of, you know, another comment with Trump. Yay.
Oh, God.
All right, so the next person on the chopping block is 50 Cent. 50 Cent saw the release of Joe Biden's tax plans for America when he is elected, and 50 Cent said, F that. Why did 50 Cent say that? Because he makes over $400,000 and he doesn't want to pay them taxes. Boo-hoo. But however, that's not my point. Chelsea Handler had a conversation and said this, quote, I had to remind 50 Cent that he is black. So that is what a white woman had to say, quote, quote.
Finish it up.
Okay, hold on. So that was her quote. Okay, cool. But here's the general sense now, right? So, and Biden has said this when anyone has had any conversations with the other side or not with Biden that have been black, you know, celebrities, whatever. How come they all kind of live by this statement that if you do not vote for the Democrats, that you are not black? What do y'all think about that? And that's actually a quote from a running person. So if you do not vote Democrats, you are not black.
I just want to say that whether you're left wing or right wing, you are a part of the same freaking bird. You can be Democrat, you can be a Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter because either party has done anything of great significance for the entire population of black folks here in our sojourn in America, so you can choke on these nizzles.
Message, baby.
I vote for the betterment of my people. Choke on that. 50 Cent. I believe it was a stunt to stay relevant, but either way, you can choke on that.
Yeah, I think you're shortchanging yourself.
And 50 Cent, you was at Floyd Mayweather's gym in 2013 when I sparred 3 professional fighters, and I held my own against 2 of them. One of them got the best of me. His name was Keith Thurman. So you know how these hands go. So you don't want no smoke.
You're liable to shortchange yourself, 50 Cent. Just saying.
So will he be quartered then? Nickel, penny, what we call this nigga if he shortchanged?
Penny Cent.
Penny Cent.
Penny Cent.
I'm gonna ride with the dog though on that. Yeah, I think just vote for your best interest and vote for the betterment of your people.
Yeah, y'all know where I'm at on that. This system that we live in, I don't even call it a country. This system that we live in was never designed for us anyway. So to fall under
Talk heavy.
To operate under this fallacy.
I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah, it's a little inference for later. This fallacy. Yeah. What'd I say?
So my thing is
It's
this.
the gap. I say.
For those who make over $400,000 a year, if you want tax cuts, why don't you donate your money?
Message. Oh, but that's gonna require them to be selfless. You know they don't do that.
I mean,
Did that count as the shortest?
Nah, that was.
Okay.
I mean, I mean, you can donate
If you
to.
want one,
That's the shortest. Okay.
You could donate to the areas in which the supremacy calls the projects. And you don't have to worry about paying taxes because you gave to the community. Oh, wait, that benefits people of color. I'm sorry, I said that on the air.
Okay.
Hot. Go ahead.
Okay, let's go for our last one. All right.
another one.
Another one. Speaking of another one, don't it just seem like stuff has been flying around the past few weeks?
It's called COVID.
Not COVID.
Oh.
I'm talking about them Birkin bags, y'all. Them Birkin bags.
Okay.
All right. So y'all know lately everybody been trying to show off, show out, buying Birkins, even if they got it or don't got it. People been coming saying if that ain't your man, he don't buy you a Birkin. So, but I saw a quote from a young rapper at the name of Little Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
That's Lil.
Lil Dirk.
Leave us.
Lil Dirk. So he's just posted. He's like, nah, I actually bought my girl a property. She didn't want a Birkin. What y'all think about that?
Shout out to Juvenile for purchasing his wife's property for her wedding gift.
Hey,
I'm
shout
gonna
out
say
to Juvie.
Chew on
Oh
that.
yeah, definitely chew on that.
I believe
3 chews.
that a real man
Oh, but I ain't got one.
elevates the mental of his woman to where she doesn't worry about the bag she carries. She worries about the property she owns.
That's the real bag.
Now that's speaking on what he did was right, but obviously what she was doing was right too. She had to have that mental for that. Come on, man. But he who finds right, she was already, you know what I'm saying? She was already that. He found her.
Hallelujah!
Hot tub of glory.
Hot tub of glory.
Hallelujah!
Hot tub of glory.
Hallelujah.
Getting that shirt, man.
Nah, but yeah, you gonna get that survey? All right. Nah, but seriously,
Merchandise.
yeah. At the end of the day, he toiled in her nutrient enriched soil. You know what I'm saying?
If
That's how that works.
if my value to you is based upon the piece of paper with white supremacist faces on it, then I don't need you.
Yes. Say that again. Please
Say it louder for those in the back
If the value
and the cheap seats.
of me being in your life is based upon a piece of paper with white supremacist faces on it as an IOU note, I don't need you.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. There's a whole lot of messages going on right now.
That really is.
Now, don't get it stupid. Money answereth all things, but I'm not talking about money being. It's the love of money that's the root of evil. It's not money.
Yeah.
Money is not evil. It's the love of it. You can't love a piece of paper with white supremacy on it.
Where is the worth of your currency?
See, currency and money is two different things.
Correct. Correct.
Because what do you bring to the table, woman? If beauty is the only currency you have in your spiritual wallet, then you're broke.
Ew. I never did like a woman in debt. She comes to me asking me what my name is.
happening?
She comes to me and asks me what my name is, and I tell her to leave us.
So,
my God.
so anyway, so Grandtastic, did you have anything you
No,
want to say?
that's
there?
it for Chew and Choke for today, y'all. That's it.
Listen, I'm going to we're going to dive into the topic and discussion. The topic of today is the illusion conclusion. But before I dive heavy into the topic, I want to play a quick video for you guys to see. And I hope that you guys learned something from this quick video that I'm about to play. We'll be right back right after this video. Okay?
Pay attention.
Be patient. The number to dial is 516-531-9828. 516-531-9828.
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Ladies and gentlemen, the illusion conclusion is the topic of today's show. Have you been living in an illusion, or are you waking up to realize that you need to shut that illusion off and live in reality? The number to dial is 516-531-9828. 516-531-9828. I want to say this. I want to start off with relationships. Is the dynamic of your relationship an illusion? Are you dating the ideology of the individual that you're with, or are you actually dating the individual? Question number 2 in relationships. And I hope you guys are writing this down, those that are watching at home. Please write this down because you're going to need to answer these yourself. A lot of people say that actions speak louder than words, but I say intentions speak louder than actions, because we can be programmed to have a certain behavior pattern to get what we want. Are you the person who has altered your behavior pattern to get something from the other individual? Thus, you are walking as an illusion. Have you know? Third, and the last one that I'm gonna open up to the panel. Thirdly, everything this government does is psychological warfare. Them demanding that you put on a mask when you get close to people. Let me say that again, because I don't think y'all got the message. Think the amen. If you're not paying attention, at least borrow or rent an amen from what I'm about to say. The government told you to put on a mask when you get close to another individual. Is that mask just more than external? Do you put on an internal mask to yourself?
Message.
Questions have been asked. My panel is august.
We are here.
Talk to me, gentlemen. What do you think?
You want to go first, second, or third?
You go ahead.
All right. You know you messed up, right?
It's all good.
Hey, so listen. I definitely believe that this pandemic, it's a sickness, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and the sickness comes with a lot of symptoms. And so to be protected, we need to put on a mask, right? Because that's what technically a mask is supposed to do, is protect us, right? That's what we feel. So in order for us to feel safe, we need to put on a mask.
That's the lie they told us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little fallacy, right?
Yeah, a little fallacy. Yeah.
Word of the day is fallacy. You can break down the etymology later.
Speak, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
Lord.
But not to put it's crazy that we have to feel like we need to put on a mask in order to feel safe. So, but sometimes we do it so much, especially now at this point. As far as the pandemic has been going on, as long as it's been going on, it's just second nature to go ahead and throw the mask on real quick. Oh, I can't go in the store without a mask. You just do it. Just it's literally become one of your. It's become a ritual.
Talk heavy.
It's become a ritual.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's part of who you are now.
Religions.
Yeah, it is religious, isn't it? In a sense, that's another day's conversation. Nonetheless, you put on this mask. So, do you not often wonder if maybe, just maybe, you do that with other people?
Is it easy for you to put on the mask during COVID because you're used to putting on masks every day anyway?
Ooh.
Short slap?
Take
a sip and sip.
Take a sip and sip.
Grantastic, talk to me.
Now, you know, the one question I've always had about even the COVID situation, and even as we use, like, you know, as an analogy, but why do we always talk about putting on a mask, but we never talk about building our immune system?
Yo.
Woo!
I've been saying that.
Woo!
I've been saying that from day one.
Sorry.
You
My
get,
bad.
that was like that was a triple.
That was aggressive. I felt that one. I apologize.
Yeah.
That was a nice shirt you got on. I apologize. I'm so
I
sorry.
apologize for my outburst. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, that was like always a part of it in my mind. I'm like, okay, I get the purpose of masks, but it's like, but if you look at other countries and what they're doing and certain teas that they're making, just that's a part of their lifestyle, that to build their immune system to fight any viral, the flu, the cold, whatever. So why? So again, so like you were saying, it's like, so are we already programmed to put on a mask and not think about our internal immune system ourselves and building that up?
But that's going to require the people to like make themselves stronger, actually go back into holistic, not invest in Western medicine that this system created anyway. But my bad, I'm sorry, I spoke out of turn.
But see, a lot of people skip past this part in all the presidential debates. They forgot that the current president, Donald Trump, said that he has the military and the generals on standby to vaccinate everyone in America as soon as they get a vaccine cleared. Now, those who believe in vaccinations might rejoice, but those of us who are not a part of the illusion understand that vaccinations are actually the problem and not the cure. Because why would modern medicine, who makes billions upon trillions of dollars, want to cure you when they get their money from keeping you sick?
Tell it. Tell it. Way back, tell it.
And so what happened is he is pretty much saying that he's going to force every American to take the vaccination, regardless of your belief, regardless of how you feel about it.
Because of the military.
That is actually constitutional. And a lot of people would say, oh, that's unconstitutional. I have constitutional rights. You don't have constitutional rights. You have civil rights, which can be changed by a sitting president.
Enlighten them. Lighten up the whole world.
Do you know there was a book that I gave for Books and Business for the first 3 months of the show that was called the 100 Supreme Court Cases of Law that you need to know in America. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to educate you and teach you let me say something about this. The illusion conclusion, because what people fail to realize is that, number one, that the United States of America was incorporated in the state of Delaware. There's 2 constitutions.
2.
You don't read the second one in school. You only read the first one, but the second one overrides the first one because you're no longer, because the first constitution said that the aboriginals of this land have supremacy, which is where the Moors get their doctrine from, which is where the Native Americans get their doctrine from. But if you notice, the second constitution was written, says that everything that is conquered by the corporation we call the United States of America is United States of America property, which is why you have a straw man, which is why you are actually not in debt. The commercial you is in debt. That's a whole different, which is why you have a federal treasury account that you don't even have, you're not allowed to have access to. You're not allowed to have access to. And I have the evidence to prove that it exists, which is why you have a birth certificate and a Social Security.
Social Security number. Yeah.
Because they tell you what Federal Reserve Bank you're connected to and which account you have.
And what your account number is.
Because you are merchandise. Because you are a straw man. Now, anyway, the Corporation of America created the Electoral College.
Talk about that.
When they created the Electoral College, New York said, we don't like it, so they took the state of Delaware to Supreme Court. There was a court case, the state of Delaware versus... Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. The document here, which is actually talking about the Electoral College, says that it was that the members of New York and the District of Columbia went to the Supreme Court to fight against and sue the state of Delaware about the system of the Electoral College. Because New York and District of Columbia wanted, because by the way, the White House, the capital of America, wasn't the District of Columbia. Mm-hmm. That changed after this court date. Mm-hmm. And the reason why New York and the District of Columbia failed is because the District of Columbia made an agreement with Delaware and the Electoral College. And then the capital got moved there. Electoral College. Now, long story short, because I don't want to read the whole document, you can research it yourself. And don't, by the way, when I say research, this is not a YouTube and Google thing. This is a National Archive, college studies, professors, and all that kind of thing. If you don't spend more than 2 hours in researching something, you haven't researched it.
Message.
And I'm not talking about watching a video. Anyway, New York took Delaware to the Supreme Court to say that they would like that the popular vote, they would want the popular vote of the citizens to be what selects the presidency. They lost. Which is why Donald Trump was selected, just like every other presidency, by the Electoral College. There was a book written in 1865 called The Barren Trumps, which talks about the life of Donald Trump. I'm going to say it again. This book was written in 1865. Mm-hmm. It relaunched in the early 2000s. It was 2 books, The Barren Trumps and The Last President. Wow. Talks about Trump's wife, the Russia connection, Donald Trump, his son, and Or do you just think that the creators of Simpsons just are that good at predicting the future?
I know, for real.
Right.
I don't mean to be heavy, but people are living in so. I had a gentleman say to me, our ancestors died for our right to vote, but our ancestors died also for our right of separation.
Right to sit on the bus, go in front of the deli,
Our ancestors died also to not even come over to this spot.
use the same bathroom.
So our ancestors died for driving their car. Our ancestors died for walking down the street. Our ancestors died for just being black.
Buying a house in a white neighborhood.
Like, but anyway, don't mean to get too heavy. But you are in a matrix. You are in an illusion. And if you are choosing a spouse, you have to choose someone who also wants to live outside of the matrix. Unless you want to pick the woman with the red dress, Neo.
Message.
Good one.
Panel, talk to me.
The last statement was definitely true.
You like one of the red dresses?
I mean, a woman in a red dress does look nice. Nonetheless, you want someone that you can build with, not against. You want to be able to connect with your spouse. And
If you are a black person in the United States military, I want you to take a quick look at how our ancestors were treated after they fought in so many wars for white supremacy
right,
to rule the
and wonder
world.
what's gonna happen to you when you're done,
Okay, I'm sorry, I had to get that out my system.
if they make it.
Oh my god.
Because I know Vietnam vets that came back from fighting the Vietnam War and couldn't even get a house. Just saying.
That'll be World War I and World War II as well.
Go ahead, Pan. I didn't mean to cut you off, Chris. I had to get that out.
You feeling it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let you, let it bleed out. You know what I'm saying? But nah, and in regards to having a relationship with someone, if you're not able to relate, then what's the purpose of having a relationship? So and you have to meet in the middle in some regard, especially in that belief, in that mentality, that thought process.
And you can't relate based on an illusion.
This is true.
A lot of us has been programmed, Christopher J., to pick our spouse or our significant other based upon how they look. Illusions have a lot to do with the appearance of a thing.
Right, rather than for what it really is.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So if you are captivated by someone's illusion, are you then delusional at that point?
Yes and no. I think in order for you to properly know someone, you have to first catch the illusion.
Okay.
But you have to have the fortitude to get past the illusion to get to the substance of who they really are.
Yeah, I was gonna say you either that or you put that much worth on things that are superficial.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when you get to the core of the person, and let's say fake or fraud that person is, but let's say you make the decision. So this person, like you get down to the core and you're like, all right, this is not necessarily a person who I think I really, really want to be with, but it's a person I can be with.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of we were talking about earlier about marriage, of it just being like a pinnacle.
Yeah.
So it's just like, this is not necessarily like my soulmate, but this is a person I can check this part of my life off with.
Yeah.
Are you then delusional at that point?
No, you. Oh, go ahead, Christopher.
I was gonna say you can get to the the core, the raw substance of another individual. But what if you've never done that for yourself? How do you know if you really can match?
And that's exactly what I was getting to, because in that regard, you are actually living out an illusion of yourself.
Yeah. What if their reality? What if their reality is the reality? And what if you haven't gotten yourself into reality? You're still living in an illusion.
See, science doesn't teach us anything. It's the scientist that teaches us these things. Mm-hmm. Science is just data and information. The scientist interprets it so we can understand it. But if the scientist is under an illusion, then the interpretation he is given is an illusion interpretation. Mm-hmm. Often, this is how we view all of our relationships. We call it an assumption. We make assumptions about individuals because we don't have the balls to go and talk to that person to get the substance of why they are doing what they're doing.
No,
see
that's
what I'm
facts.
saying?
Yeah, that's definitely facts.
So to focus on the why rather than the what.
Yeah.
Or the illusion of the what.
Yeah.
And that is funny because I had I don't know why I have these like life conversations with my students, right? And today we talked about that, of which is like because they have actually they're doing a podcast themselves for an assignment in their reading classes, and they were telling me about it, and I'm like, okay. So I was like, and it's talking about human intelligence, and some kid was just asking like, if you are smart, if you're intelligent, does that help with like pain? And I was just like, that I don't know, like that's an interesting question that like a teenager would ask her things like that, but kind of it's like, so one thing I was like thinking about after that, it's like. And this is on a KOD album from J. Cole, where it was just like, all right, so having understanding helps with dealing with pain. It's like not necessarily cures it, but it helps you get through it. So
Correct.
not necessarily like the what, but it's just like, okay, this is the reason. All right, I get why this happened.
Right.
Even dealing with other people's mess, where it's like at an immature, you're just reacting to them. But like in the mature mindset, you'll take a step back and like, okay, I see why you're now acting like this, because I'm like, okay, I see where in your world where it stems from. But like the thing is that when do you get to that point? Because it's like there's so many illusions now, to which is like what is real and what is fake. Because I think even knowing the truth to other people seems like you know something that's fake. Like when do we get to a point where we are maturing enough to like, all right, stop the what but the how kind of thing. I feel like that's where we are right now, in such a state of everyone's just like, we gotta get some what's, but it's like don't know anything about the how.
I truly feel like once you have to grow up and mature yourself in a sense to where you can focus, as we always say, focus on the why and not the what. Because you're going to, like you said, an immature you is going to react to someone's what.
Right.
But until you understand their why, you're not going to truly understand the reason for what they're doing.
Correct.
You see that what, and it's just like, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. You're not supposed to do that. Well, that's because in your perception, that's your reality.
Right.
And that's not always the case. Your perception is not real. Your perception is not the reality.
Yes.
So,
And this is what, and I'm not trying, like, we're not trying to get like way too deep and heavy, but that's one thing that kind of bothers me sometimes about this version of feminism. Okay, so I saw a quote today, and I'm like, some woman was just like, I can't wait to live in a world where women can do whatever they want without permission. And like at first it was just like, oh, okay, like I see what you mean, but then like I paused and I was like, and I looked at who said it. It was a white woman. She was like, I just want to live in a world where women can do whatever they want without permission. And then I'm like, I know this is probably gonna sound sexist, but it's like, as a black man, I feel as if I don't have permission to do what, like, just everyday normal life things. So it's like, so like you said, like your perception. So it's not that I think women are not treated unfair, but also at the same time, I was like, you're coming from a mountaintop talking about you want to do what you want to do.
Yeah, there's levels to
There's levels to this. So it's just, I get, so like you said, the perception of that.
Our
illusion.
perception is definitely not reality.
And to be honest, if you want to just do whatever you want to do, that in of itself is an illusion.
Why is that an illusion to do whatever you want to do?
Because we don't have free will, we have freedom of choice. Freedom of will means that I have the willpower to place and do whatever I want necessary, and it shall manifest.
Right.
Which is why people fall for this illusion of name it, claim it, you can manifest things and all that. If that was the case, then niggas would have a lot of money.
Yeah.
You burn sage and candles and you do all the proper rituals and you still broke. But instead of following that illusion, how about you put some discipline to your life and know how to manage your money? But I said that because we have this.
Stop buying Birkin bags. Because make $15,000 a year.
Because I say that because a woman who knows how to be a woman never has to worry about getting abused by a real man. because a real man by nature honors a real woman. What happens is these beta males and these beta females try to date alpha males, and they don't know how to submit one to another, and it causes conflict because you're dating someone based upon an illusion, your ideology of who they're supposed to be instead of actually who they are. Ladies and gentlemen, I just dropped a nugget, but we're about to take a quick 2.2 minute break, and when we get back, we're going to have the intellectual rant. We'll be right back after this quick 2.2.
Do you want to know?
Dancing on the beat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with we are starting the intellectual rant by Christopher J.
You already know what it is. It's Christopher J, a.k.a. I'm him. And just for a reminder, the number to dial in is 516-531-9828. And for those of you who have been listening, the topic of today's discussion is the illusion.
Speak, Lord. Yes, sir.
Conclusion.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, I don't know if y'all know the meanings of those words or the proper placements of those words, but the illusion, conclusion,
Break it down.
as in the ending of illusion or
Yes.
or fallacies or the misperception and the beginning of reality. And quite often, that's going to require you to look into the mirror and see something other than that Birkin bag on your shoulder, no matter who gave it to you. Whether it was your first nigga, your side nigga, I'll see you on the weekend ship, whatever it was. At some point, you're going to need to check you, not the things that are on you. At some point, you are going to need to be able to calculate your worth, not the worth that you have purchased, however much that costs. At some point, you're going to have the birth of you and then learn you and not what someone else thinks of you. One thing, I read a book not too long ago called, yes, I do read, called Making It Work. And the first chapter in that book was, you don't know love. And a lot of times, what we think love is often what was bred into us, and therefore we were given a certain perception based on what we were taught growing up as a child, whether it's toxic or abusive relationships, thinking that if someone beats on you, that means that they love you, so you go seeking those kind of people. And quite frankly, that's false. I couldn't help but to sit here and talk about or think about when we were talking in reference to finding a good woman, or that the Lil Durk reference too. Found a good woman, and rather than give her a Birkin bag, like bought her property. Bought her property, which he isn't the first person to do that. Who's the other? Juvenile. Shout out to Juvenile. To be able to see that.
Oh, dude, what's up?
He had to have been within his own reality. He had to have been within his own reality.
Yes.
And not an illusion, in order to be able to see and value a woman who operates the same thing, so she could back that thing up.
In her own house.
In her own house.
On her own land.
With her name on it.
Her own
and can't nobody
residence.
tell her nothing.
Girl, this your land once you back that thing up.
So fact of the matter is, in order to attain the conclusion of your illusion, you're going to have to do the work. Y'all got so much faith. Y'all got so much faith in these rituals and the burning of the sage and all, but you won't do the work that's necessary in order to change and alleviate and kill that illusion that you're living in. And the moment that you're able to kill that illusion and operate in your reality, you just might get somewhere.
And back that thing up.
And back that thing up.
Thank you for the intellectual rant by Christopher J. The topic, the illusion conclusion. The number of the dial is 516-531-9828, 516-531-9828. If you burn sage, but you're a gossiper, you burn in vain.
Woo!
Wait a minute.
Yikes. I feel...
If you follow any of what white folks have discovered and told you your ancestors did, but you gossip, get angry with your own ethnic group at a fast rate, and you have less than $300 in your bank account, and you are living an illusion. There's a lot of so-called I want to appear to be spiritual people, when in all actuality, spirituality is just natural discipline. So fasting is a natural discipline. Reading is a natural discipline. Getting out of debt is a natural discipline.
You would think that is not, though.
The way they act, yeah.
Prayer is good. Prayer helps you decipher your thought process and talk to your creator and all that good stuff. However, if all you do is pray and you have no actions, you are in an illusion. If all you do is go to your religious organizations whenever they meet up, whether it's a Sunday, a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, or a Friday, or a Saturday, and you go there for that meetup, but you don't live out what you say your faith is in, you are in an illusion. If you say that you are a ride or die person and you want to find a ride or die person, but you always end up getting burnt because you are ending up with people who are not ride or die people, you are living an illusion. Because relationships is a highly reflective school of yourself. I didn't say the person you're in relationship with. I said the relationship is a reflection of who you are internally. So if you run around and say niggas ain't crap and these females ain't nothing but hoes and tricks, ladies and gentlemen, you have to look within yourself and find out that you are living an illusion. How can you say that a woman is the most beautiful woman in the world? You never left.
I'll take it.
Niggas ain't even leave their home city.
Some of them ain't leave the block.
Right. Right.
You can't even get your passport, bro.
And you believe it as a female, you are living an illusion.
Oh. Y'all let game get run on y'all and don't even realize it's the first level of Super Mario Brothers.
It really is.
If pussy is the only thing you bring to the table, then you are an illusion.
Message.
And pretty cheap too.
If sex is the only thing you can offer in relationship, then you actually have no substance. Because at the end of the day, one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be ugly.
About 7
nobody want that.
Yeah, about 7 years from now, when your stuff is dragging and his stuff is sagging, yeah.
If you are over 300 pounds,
you don't get a little Durkin bag.
okay. So panel, but talk to me though. What are some other things that we have been believing that is actually an illusion? It doesn't have to be about relationships. It can be about anything. Grantastic, then Christopher J.
Man, I think in this election season, things I've noticed from people as of late as an illusion is that, and it kind of goes back to the Ice Cube situation with the contract with Black America, is that one illusion is that there's no reason to fight back. Like, it's just to lie over and just lay down and just like, this is the way it is. We're not going to do nothing new. We ain't going to change nothing. This is just the way it is. And I know that if you want to change something, it's a generational practice. I won't say curse, but it's a generational practice in your family. It takes a lot of courage and knowledge and research to break that cycle, but it's not impossible. And I mean, from like intelligent people who've been quote unquote educated, it's the same thing over and over again. It's that, you know, like, I got no choice. We just going to keep doing the same old thing and not bettering themselves and not learning. And then the flip side is that they actually think they are good people, and they think they're productive people, and they're thinking that they're like, yo, what's hot stuff in the streets? And it's like, yo, even you have a couple degrees, you just like everybody else. You just living in that illusion. And I don't know. I just think there's people just done with everything, and just we're going. They took the blue pill, and they're taking the blue pill every day, like Annieing up every day. Like, they don't want anything of the truth. So that's one that I noticed is you know, in this season, and people just like, look, we just want to find ways to make change, and some people's like, change ain't never gonna come, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do this dumb stuff. So, and these are educated people saying that think that they're educated. So, and the fact is these are the same people that say it's poor people that thought like this. And I'm looking, I'm like, no, it's not just your economical status, dude. You think like that too.
If you are black and you think that the people in power are going to grant you equality, equity, or freedom, you are living in an illusion. Christopher
Please.
And smoking crack.
Like, just granted. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak on, we can even use social media. That's a humongous illusion.
Oh.
Now, I'm only saying that because you talk about how a woman, if all she can offer is the poontang. You know what I mean?
Poontang?
Yeah, the
We in the
poontang.
70s or something? The fuck?
Hey, listen. Look, you see a joint on there with the hourglass Coke bottle shape, and don't even know. First off, you don't even know what Adobe Photoshop look like.
Or the surgeries that you pay for because you want to look like an illusion. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
facts.
Or the rap, what is it, the little rap to get snatched?
Yeah, they snatching their waist when there's a whole lot more ways to be snatched.
Bruh.
Y'all are so looking at the 18,000 likes and the 100,000 followers that they have on Instagram, and y'all add worth to that. Whole time, you don't even know that she's staying off at the Section 8 apartments over in downtown Baltimore, and her mattress don't even got a box spring. It's just a mattress on the floor. Talk. And the only reason she's so heavy on social media is because most of her conversations is with the roaches that crawl on her wall while she's sleeping.
Oh my God.
She talking her sleep. You know what?
Rotisserie loving.
But look, that's what I'm saying is, yeah, what you think is happening ain't really happening, bruh.
Can I add one? I just want to add one more illusion of morality. The illusion of morality, because all right, so think about this, like 10, 15 years ago, smoking marijuana, you are like the devil's devil, right?
Right.
Until you can get a card and you can go to the store and have it delivered to you. Like morality. Gosh, morality I'm learning and realizing that what we quote unquote think is moral or not moral is just like it's dictated to you, and these are the thoughts you run with. And I was like, this is an illusion here, because now all of a sudden, like, oh, you smoke marijuana, oh, that's medicine. Yeah. Here, get your little medicine, or here's your prescription.
Sheeple.
I was just like, yo, y'all are, but you know,
there is no measure of success to be properly. How can I say it? There's no measure of success to be properly integrated into a sick society. J. Krishnamurti. I hate to say this, but
just do it.
Black folks have been living in an illusion in America since desegregation. They have been duped into thinking that they can Do you know what the etymology of the word vote means? From the Old Latin or the Old French, which have the same meaning. Just take a guess at it, panel. What do y'all think that the etymology of the word vote actually means?
I don't know. He's the educated.
I would not be surprised if it has something that is just like selecting your own demise or something like that. Like something just twisted.
It means to wish.
Mm.
You are literally wishing to select a candidate that the system that wants your destruction has offered you. Let me say that again, because remember earlier I said you don't have freedom of will, you have freedom of choice.
Mm-hmm.
And the word freedom shouldn't even be given there. It's actually liberty.
Yes, that is very true.
Because you're not free to do squat. You have been given the liberty to do something.
Yes, the liberty to do that.
Mm-hmm. Which lets you know that you're enslaved.
Yes.
Neo, do you want this red pill or this blue one?
Mm-hmm.
You are given the liberty of choice to choose between two candidates that the system harps in front of you. And we have been so convinced that we can talk to our oppressors while they still slaughter us in Philadelphia, while they still slaughter us in Illinois. And we still feel like that we should not retaliate with bloodshed. We've been trying to talk to white folks for 400 years, and 90% of them are still in denial of the existence of racism and white supremacy and white privilege. When are you going to stop talking? As someone who grew up in and around project areas, we realized that a nigga who talked the most was the weakest.
Facts.
It was the quiet one that'll punch you in your mouth that got the results. Now, I'm not advocating the murder or slaughter of anyone. What I am saying is you need both. You need diplomacy and you need militia. But see, you've been given an illusion that black folks with weapons building a militia is a terrorist organization when the Constitution states that you have the right to bear arms to build a militia against a tyranny government. There is no person in American soil that has been under a tyranny except for black folks. But most of the militias that walk around on this soil are white folks. Why? Because a black man with a gun is pictured as wrong. You have been given that narrative. Do you know that the NRA didn't even give out licensings to carry firearms until after the Black Panther Party?
Until after what?
The Black Panther Party.
Huh. Go figure.
There's another illusion I want to talk about is your black history.
Ooh.
Yeah, message.
Ooh, that was about to be one of the true jokes. Because Kanye, they were talking about, Kanye was on the Joe Rogan show. He was talking about that. And I know Kanye is not necessarily our superhero, but was saying that black history is like, why do we have it when it's just something that's given to us in a package that we open up every February that's with the people that we're allowed to know and allowed to talk about.
And I'm glad you said that, because I want to say this. Rosa Parks or Martin Luther King were not responsible for the boycott of the bus systems. Everyone Google, research, National Archives, Joanne Robinson. I learned this from my father, by the way. Joanne Robinson was the female who organized the boycott of the buses for over a year. I'm talking about organizing carpooling so people can get to work. Right. The whole nine for over a year. Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King added value to what she was already doing. But you don't learn about her.
Why do you think we don't learn about her?
Because they control the narrative of the matrix or the illusion that you're given.
Yeah.
How can you hate a man, kill him, and then teach his writings as poetry in your school systems after you murder him?
That's some really twisted stuff. I also think that with those cases, why they don't tell about those people who actually organize things is because it's like you said, like the Martin Luther King, the Rosa Parks, they don't talk about Malcolm X either. You're not allowed to talk about Malcolm X. But with we look at them as just as heroes. And we don't look at their actions though. If you start honoring people who are on the got boots to the ground, that's organizing these protests, these that are actually effective, because that boycott that hurt them.
Yeah,
that hurt money. That's the only reason why anything was ever changed, was because that hurt pockets.
Yes,
not because they felt like, all right, y'all, it's about time we treat people with respect.
Right.
But see, if you honor people who organize like that, then you start creating those people.
But wait, Mr. Grantastic, you mean to tell me that we've been under this illusion that white folks in power had a heart change?
I mean, isn't that what we think that, like, the end of quote unquote slavery was? Just like, y'all, this is bad. The North, we like, black folks is cool up here. You got it great up here. We're just going to end this little thing that we call slavery because we think that this is best morally for you all. And that's why I said before, the illusion of morality.
Yes. The word emancipate means to take from one and give to another.
Because that's all slavery was.
That's correct. Literally what they did. Yeah. They took us from privatized owners to city, to county, city, and state ownership. And then they started privatized prisons. And then we got back in. And that's why I tell my students every year. I know I teach math. I'm like, yo, we're going to dive in the Constitution. Read that 13th Amendment. Because, that's the first thing they always say. Like, I ain't no slave. I was like, read that 13. Yes.
No, keep reading.
We're talking about in 2020, lynching just became illegal.
Illegal just in this year.
The illusion conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick 2.2. When we come back, we're going to keep on busting your illusion out the door. And, you know, I'm going to come back with my final thoughts. Really? Yes. We'll be right back after this quick 2.2.
No, we will not. Nah. No, we will not stand here in silence while they take the lives of our brothers and sisters and partner. We will not turn a blind eye to the murder with no repercussions. Oh no, we will not. We will not live on our knees. We will die on our feet. This ain't no lie that I speak. All you youngins out here in the streets only wanna shoot people who look like you. You can stay home. You too weak. Oh no, we will not go and repeat the mistakes of the past. Ignoring the snakes in the grass, paying you cash. Still we praying, we fast till one day that's your ass. We will not ask for no war. No, 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 no. But we will be prepared for one. Hope but not with a gun with the unity. Using the same shit you did to destroy me. We sick of the garbage you kicking and teaching and lynching us, locking us up for no reason and killing us. No consequences, conviction. You serious? Lying about what you show in the media. Assassinate all the leaders who leading us. Leave us with ones who misleading us. Then go reward all the ones who mistreat us and leave us in projects and give us these poisonous products on top of narcotics to push to our sisters and brothers. Like them ain't our sisters and brothers. No, we will not be running more led astray or bamboozled. The bulk will be stopping today. See what happened when athletes that no longer play for you. Tell them accountants to pray for you. On respect or just respect what that paper do. Look up, it's too late for you. Dropping you off, turning them profit to law. When we won't go shopping the mall. United we all stuck in this bullshit together. Showing these folks we just won't say whatever. Else they just roll up and shoot or whatever. Just like they been doing forever. The niggas swear they heart be huffing and puffing, but ain't gon' do nothing. The enemy trying, they way behind enemy line. Why you trying to be so friendly now? Handle your business now. And we will not feel none but judgment from God. Standing there looking at me saying you ain't do nothing. I bless you and you ain't invested in none. Just kept up the cycle of death and destruction. Ignoring your neighbor won't help them, but helping yourself. Just like the devil himself. Promote all the fornication, all the baby making. Ain't no baby raising for a generation. Now they trapped the systems cause incarceration was inevitable due to education. Substandard institution never cared. J drop binary, pair crack, rock, crib, blood, all the 80. GDV or whatever the separator. Hip hop, can you finally made it? Your time to take it, Pat Martin Luther. All that money and you still blew it. Didn't save and you feel stupid. I tune came and they bootlegging. And what you get for being hard-headed. Goddamn, nigga. Man, where gon' go to hell, cause I done tried as hard as I can, nigga. I know you only a man, but goddamn, nigga.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo-On-That, aka Mr. Slap Your Great Ancestry. And these are my final thoughts.
Don't hurt him. Just lay it down softly.
What if I was to tell you that 85% of the things that you believe in was a lie?
I believe you.
How would you respond to that? What would you do? How would the very foundation of your livelihood be shaken so much that you would have to see if you have the fortitude to rebuild it? What if I told you that the very thing that you hold high in esteem, your college degrees, your great careers, are actually the lowest of what your ancestors have achieved in their livelihood? Yet you hold it at a very high esteem as if you've accomplished something, but you will just be a peasant in our ancestors' kingdoms. What if I told you the technology that you have would actually, if you walked around with that type of technology in the 14th dynasty or earlier, you would be looked at as a peasant or a homeless person? In other words, humble yourself.
We'll use the whole H.
Because in reality, you are more excited about accepting an illusion than you are about the revelation of truth. You are more excited about putting on makeup than you are about walking outside as yourself. You spend all your money on clothes that other people say are great, but you don't even really like it, to be honest. You only like it because other people said it was cool. You pick a type of significant other based upon what people around you in your life say is good for you.
You better tell it.
Instead of being loyal to someone who's good to you.
You better tell it.
I said this earlier in the show. Everyone becomes ugly eventually. If the only thing in your spiritual wallet, the only currency you have, is being beautiful, handsome, and sex, then you are actually broke. If you can't have an intellectual conversation, if you can't help build an empire, if you can't help with anything, then you are broke spiritually. You are poor spiritually. If you don't question what you know or what you think you know, then you actually don't know.
Not a thing.
Because I'm going to just break down some things that are an illusion that we don't even think about as an illusion anymore. An example, I apologize. The word apology comes from the word apologio, where we also get the word apologetics, which also means to defend with evidence. It doesn't mean that you're sorry or you have remorse for an action. The word repent has nothing to do with a prayer. The word repent means metanoia, which means to change your thought, which begins to change your behavior patterns. Has nothing to do with you say out your mouth.
That's ruined church for me.
Putting your money inside of a bank because you want... I'm not even going to talk about that because the rule of 72 and all that, y'all just not ready for that. Not getting life insurance. Not having a will for your family. Not having the balls to humble yourself with an agitated significant other so that you can co-parent to raise your child.
Tell it.
I don't even have kids and I understand what that means.
If you are a boss, if you are a manager or a leader or a supervisor of some sort, and you find yourself to be envious or jealous of those that are under you to the point where you want to sabotage their growth, you are stuck in an illusion because in all actuality, it may not be your destiny to be where they're going to go. It's your destiny to help them get there, but you're so jealous and envious that you're trying to cut their destiny, which their destiny could actually fund your lifestyle.
Ooh. Y'all not ready. It's getting real cold in here. I don't know if y'all feel it.
Yeah, it's like an eclipse that happened, bro. There's so much shade over here.
Real ice. It's getting real frigid.
It's mad brick over here, as my New York friends would say. I just want to say that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's mad brick, and it's that
if
fuel.
If you watch TV shows and movies and don't realize that there's subliminal messages in it that desensitize you from the reality that you're experiencing, then you are living an illusion. If you think that COVID-19... Oh, let me stop. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you getting a little deep. They ain't ready to get dug.
They ain't ready to get dug.
They ain't ready to get dug.
If you thought that Wuhan, China is responsible for the creation of COVID-19, then you are stuck in the illusion of trusting your United States government.
And at that moment, you knew you messed up.
You knew you thug.
If you are not prepared for the government to try to dictate your entire livelihood, which this whole pandemic was a test run, because they took your liberty of going outside away. Whenever there's a new virus introduced, there are new symptoms introduced. Can anyone name a new symptom that COVID-19 brought about?
Not one.
No, not one. No, not one.
There's not a symptom.
But you know, they took outside away from you because they understand that long as we can feed you the illusion, something to be afraid of. You know how when we was little kids, we used to be scared of the dark or scared of our closet being open or scared underneath the bed because monsters might be there and blah, blah, blah. Those were illusions that felt so real that panic and fear set in our hearts and we responded to something that wasn't there. It's the same thing with relationships. You may feel like another person loves you and they really don't. It's just an illusion.
Based on what your definition of love could be.
Or what your illusion of love is.
Because real love would never bring divorce or a diversion of forces in the home.
Man. Tell that again. We get another minute. God damn.
Have you been duped into thinking that your significant other actually loves you? If all they do is talk about what you can do for them or their feelings or how they feel or what they need from you, or you don't understand them, ladies and gentlemen, you are in the relationship of an illusionist.
Wow.
Message.
The conclusion of the matter is this. At some point, you're going to awaken and realize that those things are an illusion. But herein lies the problem. How are you going to respond to that? How are you going to manifest the right result based upon the explosion of the illusion? I'm going to say this. Black folks, if you think police officers are going to change, you're living in an illusion. Anytime you sit down to negotiate with the devil, he may give you what you want, but there's a consequence that you don't want attached to it. Do you know that deception can only work when an illusion is there? Mm-hmm. The scripture says there's a great mystery of iniquity because they believe the lie. Do you know that the word belief means to dispel the lie, to give away the lie, which means that once truth is presented, I give away the lie that I was holding. Mm-hmm. That's what the word beliefs mean. Do you know that the word faith means logical evidence? It's literally the etymology of the word faith. But it's not the way it's used.
Not at all.
But the etymology of the word faith is logical evidence. the scriptures talk about this in Hebrews 11. Now faith is the substance of something that was hoped for. It's evidence of something that wasn't seen. So in other words, faith is a evidence and it's substance. It's tangible. It has a right to exist because there's evidence to support the logic behind it. Right. I don't have I have faith in my spouse because there's evidence and substance there.
Yeah.
There's a track record or a history there.
There was works behind it.
There were works behind it that showed that her words, I love you, wasn't an illusion. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My brothers, my nephew, the relationships I have around me, I have those relationships by faith because there's evidence to prove their character.
Yeah.
That even if we have a disagreement, I know at the end of the day they have the best. They want the best for my life. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I want the best for. See, we have to conclude these illusions by first looking at how we have deceived ourselves. The illusions we place on ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to be able to say, you know what? I thought I portrayed to the... I'm sorry. I'm going to say it like Christopher J. said it earlier. Social media. You see people in relationships and it look like they so happy.
So very
But
photogenic.
when you get to know them, their relationship is some hot garbage.
Oh, it's not.
Hot monkey lava?
Nah.
No, because that means it's good.
This is
then. That means it's good.
So,
Baby, our relationship is hot monkey lava. It's good. Love you, baby.
and
Oh, I got some room.
and we live in a world that is controlled. See, I was on this team that fought the FCC about net neutrality. We try to get petitions signed and all that, and most people don't even understand what I'm talking about. Have you noticed that all of a sudden during the pandemic, the internet's been messing up? Your connection to the internet has been messing up. That is because the FCC has doubled down on net neutrality, which means they cut the bandwidth. Because the internet is just like the universe, it's vast. So what they do is they give you liberty.
There you go, that word again.
Nigga, I said that early.
If I want someone to prove that my next statement is an illusion, and I'm going to end the show with this. If you can prove to me that the statement, my truth, is a truthful statement, I will invite you on the show as a special guest and admit that I was wrong on air. But the fact that you say my truth, that in of itself is an illusion. Because you don't own the truth. And you can't alter the truth. The truth is timeless, it's culturalist, and it's eternal, which means it doesn't need to be changed because the truth will always be the truth.
Correct. Your perception is not reality.
So when people say when I want to speak my truth, we should just automatically just cut off our ears.
First of all, that phrase was coined by a CIA operative who put that on the internet as psychological warfare to desensitize people from the harsh realities of truth. But people don't do research enough to, like, police brutality is actually a CIA term that they put in society when we're supposed to call it domestic terrorism.
Correct.
But anyway,
yeah, because nothing written down about that.
If you understand that when you say my truth, you're really stating your opinion.
Yes.
Yes, that's what that is.
And I think that it is an illusion and deceitful to say that everyone is entitled to their opinion. I don't agree with that because you got some dumb niggas out there.
With some dumb opinions.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can like it.
Mm-hmm.
You can love it.
Mm-hmm.
But you definitely need to chew on that. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week on the Choo-On-That show.
Be breezy.
Deuces!
Chew on that.
Mr. Bezmenov was born in 1939 in a suburb of Moscow. He was the son of a high-ranking Soviet Army officer. He was educated in the elite schools inside the Soviet Union and became an expert in Indian culture and Indian languages. He had an outstanding career with Novosti, which was and still is, I should say, the press arm or the press agency of the Soviet Union. It turns out that this is also a front for the KGB. He escaped to the West in 1970 after becoming totally disgusted with the Soviet system, and he did this at great risk to his life. He certainly is one of the world's outstanding experts on the subject of Soviet propaganda and disinformation and active measures. Well, you spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets use the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in four basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes his balls, then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, it doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation. What matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely. Normalization is a cynical expression borrowed from Soviet propaganda. When the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia in '68, Comrade Brezhnev said, "Now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized." This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis, to promise people all kind of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., with benevolent dictators like Walter Mondale, who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not. Your leftists in the United States, all these professors and all these beautiful civil rights defenders, they are instrumental in the process of the subversion only to destabilize the nation. When their job is completed, they are not needed anymore. They know too much. Some of them, when they get disillusioned, when they see that Marxist-Leninists come to power, obviously they get offended. They think that they will come to power. That will never happen, of course. They will be lined up against the wall and shot. But they may turn into the most bitter enemies of Marxist-Leninists when they come to power. And that's what happened in Nicaragua. You remember most of these former Marxist-Leninists were either put to prison or one of them split, and now he's working against Sandinistas. It happened in Grenada when Maurice Bishop was already a Marxist. He was executed by a new Marxist who was more Marxist than this Marxist. Same happened in Afghanistan when first there was Taraki, he was killed by Amin, then Amin was killed by Babrak Karmal with the help of KGB. Same happened in Bangladesh when Mujibur Rahman, very pro-Soviet leftist, was assassinated by his own Marxist-Leninist military comrades. It's the same pattern everywhere. The time bomb is ticking. With every second, the disaster